at least with a good weekend, come up and be a couple games over 500. Otherwise, they could be looking at either a 500 record or even a losing record if they were to lose this one tonight and play a hot Dallas team tomorrow. Paul Child is our contestant in the Giant Eagle goal-getter contest. He's not the contestant. Charles Adams, Mrs. Charles Adams is, but she's hoping Paul will get a goal for her as this game is underway from St. Louis. Child is a good pick because he has scored at least a point anyway in each of the 4 regular season games thus far.
Paul Child with 8 total points, 5 goals and 3 assists thus far.
Z. Kapka, who had his best game of the season, I thought, last week against Baltimore, holding on to it. We're just underway from St. Louis. I'm John Paul Della Camera with John Sanders. We're going to be telling you when we get a chance about a great way for Spirit fans to save money. We've got some operators standing by at a special number to save you some dollars when Pittsburgh will take on Baltimore for the first time this season. We'll tell you about that when we get the opportunity. Right now, Fredrickson to Carl Rose. Up for Ebert, but it's broken up by...
Intercepted by Villa. Boy, Villa's got good size, doesn't he? He's 6'2", 205 pounds. Lee now rolls it weakly in front. It's settled by Cap as time runs out in the first half of play. We have played 30 minutes. No score yet. Steamers nothing, Spirit nothing on Pittsburgh Spirits. Vick picked up over there by foul zone. Settles and goes to Duran. Rebound shot by Fredrickson is good. Duran took the shot. Fredrickson got the rebound. It is 1-0 St. Louis.
And St. Louis gets the goal with a defender, Fredrickson, playing way up and getting that rebound. So they gambled a little bit, took a chance offensively. Time of the goal will be 3 minutes and 31 seconds. Here's the Duran shot. Wide. Fredrickson open. Short side goal. So at 3:31, we'll see how big that goal is going to be. I don't think it's going to be a game where you're going to see 6 or 7 goals scored. It should be low scoring. Marcio Leite, by the way, out for his first shift of the night, and Pittsburgh could use a spark, and maybe he can provide it.
There wasn't much net there, but Fredrickson got it, and he put St. Louis out on top. 1-0 with 11:17 to play. Karski in the far corner off the boards, looking in front for Sibbies. Sibbies was pushed from behind. The save was made by Ilievsky as the ball came off the boards.
And after that first goal St. Louis had, it started to open up a little bit. Both teams with opportunities, but they're not cashing in. Not because of the goalkeepers. The shooters are just missing.
Ebert against O'Hara. A drive by Mikowski, and he scored.
He's very happy. That's his first goal and first point of the season. That was a rocket, the way he can normally shoot. But it's getting a bit too wide open, and that didn't help Pittsburgh right there. Time of the goal, 7 minutes, 46 seconds of the third quarter, and St. Louis leads 2-0. You're watching Pittsburgh Spirit Soccer.
Ebert, as he drops it back to Mikowski, watch his shot. Left-footed shot. Just gets over the hands and catches actually the top of the crossbar, John Paul, and drops into the net. So both shots by defensemen, excellent shots. Just a piece of the goal, enough to get it in the net, enough to give them a 2-0 lead and have the Spirit call timeout.
That's right. Don Popovic really wants to settle him down before this one gets out of hand. We want to just take care of some business while we
of Redmond Lane. Sam Bick. Paul Child picks him up as he comes off the bench. Kuncharski back to Child. And with 30 seconds left, the Spirit will try to come up one more time. 2-0 St. Louis. Long lead ball. That'll be a 3-line pass offside. It'll come all the way back to the Pittsburgh red line for the St. Louis kick-in. Fredrickson into the corner off the boards in front. A chance for Lee, and again he could not get his head on it. Taken away by Topolsky. Ingram knocked away over the boards with 12 seconds left.
If a goal was scored there, John, you've got to fault that 3-line pass. Pittsburgh a little bit desperate, and there's still all kinds of time left. They've got to use the length of the field, the width of the field, stretch that defense out, and move that ball. Here it is coming back. If that ball is not cleared away by Topolsky, Stuart Lee has an easy goal off the header.
Lee breaks off the pass by O'Hara. Less than 10 seconds now left in the third quarter. It's been all St. Louis. 2-0. Child off the board in front. Just missing is Ingram. Just missed the post on the left side. Time will run out. The only 2 goals in the game belong to the Steamers. 2-0. The fourth quarter is coming up on Pittsburgh Spirit Soccer.
No rebounds for Slovo. When the rebounds have come out, they've been at the feet of Steamer players. On the right side, McKenzie. Cutting to the inside. Inside for Leite. Score! Marcio Leite from Dave McKenzie. And while it is not a Giant Eagle winner. The Spirit will take the goal. Beautiful goal set up on the feed from McKenzie, and the Spirit are back in.
It is indeed a beautiful feed. Watch as Dave McKenzie takes it in, drives it to Leyte. It was not a shot, it was a pass. Marcio had enough time, even though Makowski was right on him, to settle it and score. So Marcio Leyte picks up his second goal of the year. McKenzie picks up his third assist, and the Spirit are right back in it. Here's another look. Seems settle, then quickly. He had the ball on the carpet, and that was the key.
They played McKenzie defensively to the outside. He cut inside. Let's see what that goal does to Pittsburgh, because there's plenty of time. And you know what I was saying to you before at halftime, you know, the Spirit have not played well tonight, not like they did last week, but when they play,
Spirit not able to get it across the goal line.
We might see Pittsburgh take a few more chances with their defenders going forward. We might see that. We might see Bursic come out a little bit more. Don Popovic, because he's won quite a bit, has not had to use his sixth attacker too much. In talking with him, he doesn't prefer to do that if he has a choice. Child in the corner. Banged by Makowski.
Well, pretty good feed for John O'Hara.
Holding it. Topolsky open. He'll get it on the left. A minute 47 to go in regulation time.
It's almost like a power play now, John Paul.
Looks it. Steamers are up by 1 at 2-1. John O'Hara taking it far side. St. Louis now in a tight man-to-man, not letting Pittsburgh penetrate. O'Hara goes long ball off the boards for Sibbies. It's deflected. It's a corner kick if it's Pittsburgh's ball, and it is. That's a big play.
They got the call. You can see Bick arguing a little bit there. He thought it went off the leg of Ian Sibbies, but with a minute 28 to play, now the Spirit have to decide if they're going to make any changes, add any pressure, and they are not, apparently.
Remember, they've already called their timeout.
Right.
So they don't get one here. Don Popovic says that in a lot of cases, you're better off without a sixth attacker when you're one goal down. If you're a couple down, that's different. But again, with the winning record that he's not had to use it all that much, or not nearly as much as other coaches. So we'll see what happens here. Godfrey Ingram try to play it in quickly, and they'll do it again. Let's see why.
Somebody was not set. The play was called off by
Pat McBride. Is real upset at the St. Louis bench. Pittsburgh was maybe changing up.
Jesse Bahamas called play off.
Yep. I think Pittsburgh wanted to get a change out there, and the referee, Bahamas, was going to let it go. Apparently, that's all I can figure. Pat McBride was hot. Ingram, far side to Topolsky, cracks it a goal. It's tied at 2. Great ball from Godfrey Ingram, and Adam Topolsky has tied it. So don't go away. Big Spirit comeback.
A set play, a beautiful pass, that time from Godfrey Ingram, who will pick up the assist on the play. Godfrey with his second assist of the year. Now watch it. This is set up in advance. Here's the feed. Now watch the shot as everybody reverses to Adam, but he's got a powerful shot. A screen in front of Ilievsky. He never really saw the ball as it goes by on his left side. That's the goalpost side. Here's the shot. You can see he was screened a little bit by his own man in front.
We are back live. He got that on the volley. Here's Godfrey Ingram, 2-on-2 in a 2-2 tie. Godfrey cutting right side, cap was open. The shot is stopped by Ilievsky. What a nice try though for the Pittsburgh Spirit. So over the last maybe 7 or 8 minutes, John, Pittsburgh has been the better team, and it's made them come back from 2-0 to 2-2. Middle on the left.
We are 1 minute away from our second straight TV overtime game, JP.
We don't get paid extra for that, John. I want to point that out.
We're going to have to speak to somebody about that.
But at this point, Pittsburgh will be lucky if it can go into overtime, because for a while it looked like it would not even get there. But it may not go overtime. We'll see. Tuksha holding it. Cutting, stopping the ball, knocks it back out. Leyte to Dave McKenzie. 36 seconds left. Regulation time. Tied at 2. Tuksha cutting to the left side. Off the boards. Fredrickson knocks it out. It goes out of play. It goes out just like our monitor did. I was going to say, what happened there?
Wasn't me. The monitor's back. 26 seconds left in the game. You know, it's almost like St. Louis's defense has changed in the last 10 minutes of the game. From a pressing defense that was out around the red line, all of a sudden they've drawn back about 10 or 15 feet, and they've allowed the Spirit to be able to attack the net.
I think they're tired, too, because they're not used to playing with 4 and without Bellinger. And it's a lot of work back there, especially in this last quarter. Pittsburgh's been running better. Ingram on the set piece. Leyte wants to turn, but is blocked by Don Ebert. 24 seconds are left, and he knocks it out of play.
There's a break.
They've been a frustrated team, the Steelers.
They really
How many
have.
balls have gone out of play?
In just that situation where they're trying to clear it down the sideline, it goes over the boards out of play.
Now remember, St. Louis still has 5 fouls. Pittsburgh with 4, and 22 seconds are left in regulation time. Godfrey Ingram on the set piece, and St. Louis is going to be a little bit nervous right here. Played into the box. Rose heads it out strongly. Tuchscherer blasts it back. It's blocked. He may get another try with 15 seconds left off the boards for Leite. Kicked away by Rose. Would have been nice if he fouled him. Davis up the left. 10 seconds left for Ebert. Tuchscherer running back. Off the boards, right to David Bursic as both players go down, but there's no foul. Long ball up the left side for Zeke Kapka, broken up by Fredrickson. We are going into sudden death overtime with a score. Pittsburgh 2, St. Louis 2. You're watching and maybe finally enjoying
this game early in the fourth quarter. McKenzie feeding Marcio Leite, stops it, shoots and scores. It came at 1:23 of the fourth quarter, and it got the Spirit back in it. A score of 2-1. It took another 12 minutes for the Spirit to score again, but it was the goal here off the set play in the corner. The feed will go from Godfrey Ingram right to the foot of Adam Topolsky, and he'll rifle it right out of the air and into the net.
And I think, John, that goes back to the point I made earlier about Don Popovic not liking to go with that sixth attacker. He feels that, you know, you'll have a better player out there offensively, not give up anything defensively, and I think the confidence in his team showed there when they did not go with it, because first of all, they're the home team, and second, they're the ones that had the 2-0 lead.
And thirdly, this is the second consecutive time that they've lost a 2-0 lead in the fourth quarter. They lost the game to Tacoma 3-2 after they were ahead.
Watch out, guys, right there. They lose it. Don Ebert will take it. Left side. In a box. Oh, boy. Bukowski. And for the second straight week, Pittsburgh misplays the ball in their own zone. I sensed trouble, but I didn't sense that much trouble, John, in all honesty. In 56 seconds, Bukowski has his second goal of the night and second of the year. St. Louis putting high pressure on the Spirit defensively. And the Spirit in Bursic playing it to Topolsky and then trying to go the other way. They mishandle the ball. St. Louis gets it. Bursic is going back. Let's look at it again. Here's Ebert.
Here's Ebert. He sets it up. There's the feed coming right across in front. Bukowski wide open. No problem. And you're right. It is the second straight time that this has happened in overtime to the Spirit, that they have been unable to clear the ball, which you would assume is a reasonable ball, a ball that they should be able to play out of their own zone. Here they are. The Spirit are controlling the ball. Well, they've still got a chance to control. Now there's nobody to help out. Ebert picks it up, turns, reverses the ball. Bukowski gets his second goal, so that's the combination, Bukowski and Ebert, that do a number on the Pittsburgh Spirit here tonight. We've got to talk about our Stroh's offensive and defensive players of the game as well.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's got to be Bukowski, not because he got the game winner, but because he got two of them. I think you'd have to go with him as the offensive player of the game. Defensive player of the game, I'm going to have to go, I don't know if you'll agree or not, with Slovo. He didn't have to make as many big saves, but in that third and fourth quarter, and basically, when you only give up a couple of goals with the number of shots that were taken, I'd have to go with him. I think it's very tough to pick our Stroh's players of the game tonight, because it could have gone either way depending on who won it, but it would be tough to give the stars of the game, I think, to Pittsburgh, because they did end up losing it tonight. So I'm going to go with Bukowski, who was a factor and ended up with the 2 goals, but 2 big goals for St. Louis. It's just hard to believe that Pittsburgh, with the steadiness, I mean, their defense has always been a Spirit trademark, and the veterans back there, it's always been a strong point, and yet that's where the last 2 games have been lost. And here we look at it again in the defensive zone. No one is helping Adam, as you mentioned. Now they're coming back, but it's a little bit late.
Civvies and Klincharski were too far upfield, and there's the pass, the crossing pass, winds up on the foot of Bukowski, an easy goal in overtime. It took only 54 seconds for the Steamers to beat the Pittsburgh Spirit, and the Spirit have now lost 2 consecutive games in overtime. They'll try to reverse all of that tomorrow night in the Civic Arena when Dallas comes to town. Final again in overtime. The Steamers beat the Spirit 3-2. For John Paul Dellacamera, I'm John Sanders. Thanks for being with us on Pittsburgh Spirit Soccer.